Roger Valcourt Award dinner. I'm Mike O'Sullivan, CEO of the Chamber, and I'm joined by my compatriot, Rick Kidder, COO. We would like to thank many sponsors this evening and who make it so much, who do so much for us to make it possible. First, please join me in thanking South Coast Health, who is serving as the platinum sponsor of tonight's event. Please recognize St. Anne's Credit Union, our premier sponsor. Our corporate sponsors are Bristol County Savings Bank, Bay Coast Bank, and Webster Bank. And our other supporting sponsor is First Citizens Federal Credit Union. We are pleased to recognize several public officials in attendance this evening, and we are grateful that they're able to attend. Representative Alan Sylvia, Representative Carol Fiola, Representative Pat Haddad, Senator Michael Rodericks, and the Mayor of Fall River, Paul Coogan. We ask now that you stand as we request the Fall River Police Department Honor Guard to post the colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now retire the colors. Please be seated. I'd now like to introduce the Azorean Cultural Society.
Olha aqui o sapatinho, do lado magrinho, fica aqui que eu vou lá abaixo. Olha aqui o sapatinho, do lado magrinho, fica aqui que eu vou lá abaixo. O meu coração e o teu coração e o meu santo, as pernas do caixão. O meu coração e o teu coração e o meu santo, as pernas do caixão. Minha sogra tem mais cheque, me faz a queixa, a vila da ocupação. Por exemplo, da baiana, caminhoneta do Pará, vinha livre do caminhão. Olha aqui o sapatinho, do lado magrinho, entre a folha e o papel. Olha aqui o sapatinho, do lado magrinho, entre a folha e o papel. Veja aqui como se baila, veja aqui como se baila, o presente São Miguel. Veja aqui como se baila, veja aqui como se baila, o presente São Miguel.
We want to thank again the Azorean Cultural Society. Thank you so much. For those of you who may not know me, I am Rick Kidder. I am the Chief Operating Officer now of One South Coast Chamber, which makes me a co-CEO in recovery. But it is a pleasure to be with you this evening. And it's my pleasure to recognize our 2022 Pete Wild Ambassador of the Year recipient, Ed Pacheco. Ed, congratulations. Sit down. We have many of our ambassadors with us this evening. I'd like all of our ambassadors who are here to stand and thank you very much and be recognized. Thank you for your work. This award is named in honor of Pete Wild, who was a longtime New Bedford Chamber ambassador before we came together as one, and then after we came together as one for a short period of time. He is not only an ambassador, he was a community volunteer, especially for veterans in need. He and his wife, Donna, were stalwart supporters of the Chamber. Pete attended nearly every event he could, and Donna often stayed in the car making jewelry as Pete did his thing. Sadly, unfortunately, for all of us, and especially for Donna, we lost Pete to COVID, one of many lost but never forgotten. When we revamped the Ambassador of the Year award, we could think of no more fitting tribute than to name the award in Pete's honor. Unfortunately, Donna, who was to join us this evening, unfortunately took ill. She was unable to join us, but sends her very, very best. And when I let her know about the award, she called me and wept. So it was a wonderful thing. But now to the recipient. Ed Pacheco is the owner, manager of Places to Go, LLC, a medical and private livery transportation company serving the south coast of Massachusetts for over a decade. When we place a call out for ambassadors to join us at an event or a ribbon cutting, Ed is always the first to reply and always shows up to help wave the chamber flag. During his time as ambassador with One South Coast Chamber, Ed has helped dozens of members join and looks forward to directing them to the resources available to them and helping to build their networks within the chamber. In the past year alone, he has helped 4 new women-owned businesses join the chamber. That's worth a hand. Now, those of us who know Ed well know that he would help women-owned businesses anyway, and that it's not much of a surprise. Ed is virtually surrounded by women. He lives in Dartmouth with his beautiful wife, Mariana, and their 6, count them, 6 daughters. Ed, welcome. Come on up. Thanks, sir. Go ahead. Pat Murray, please note I did not fall off stage.
Got to bring the microphone up. Good evening. I'm Ed Pacheco. I was told by my mother, who's at the table tonight, brevity will be rewarded. So I will try to keep this as short as possible. In light of recent circumstances, I have taken the liberty of bringing my own security team in case anyone tries to rush the stage. So I would like to acknowledge them. I have Padrino Carl Saweko, the Silver Fox of the Chamber over here. We've got Chris Sunshine Johnson and Tom the Body Shop Menchie. So you will have to get through these guys if you're going to get to me first. This is a privilege for me to accept this award. On a personal level, knew Pete Wild for over 30 years. And I can attest to the fact that Pete would literally give you the shirt off of his back if you needed one. In my case, one day it was a lawnmower. The grass was getting very high in my yard. My lawnmower died out. And at the time, he was living up in Western Mass, and he saw me put out a Facebook post saying, I need a lawnmower or somebody to do a lawn service or something. And he literally strapped his lawnmower into the back of his car and drove it down to the South Coast to give it to me. That's the kind of guy that Pete Wild was. And he is sorely, sorely missed. It is really a privilege for me to receive this first award under his name. And it's special. I want to thank my family for supporting me in order to be able to do the work that I do with the Ambassadors Program. And I want to thank my work family, who is also here. I have a great staff at my company. Many of them have been with me almost a decade. And loyalty from your employees is tremendously important to an organization, large or small. So to have them here to kind of accept this award with me tonight is a great privilege. So I thank them for coming as well. I want to thank the South Coast Chamber and the staff. These folks are top notch. The work that they do behind the scenes every day, from Dot in the office to Mike and Rick and Katie and Ian, who's 1 foot out on his way to his new venture as a small business owner, and the folks in Fall River, is just a tremendous, tremendous effort that works diligently daily to keep South Coast businesses competitive. And they should all be commended, because I get to see it on the inside as well, that some of you may not get to see those efforts. So thank you to all of them for their hard work as well. Truly. So I have a personal standing rule, which is I try to commit to something for no more than 6 years in terms of volunteer work. That way I can find a new interest and move on to something else that might be new or exciting. And I was telling Rick that ironically, this would be my last year as an ambassador for the One South Coast Chamber, though I would look for other opportunities with the Chamber. And according to Rick, he says to me, well, I've got news for you, pal. You've been here as long as I have, and it's been almost 8 years, so you're a little overdue. So I immediately tendered my resignation, but he wouldn't accept it. And still won't, apparently. The Chamber is a wonderful resource for small businesses and it's one of those things where if you use it as a member it works wonders for you. You get out of your membership what you put into your membership. And that is what I tell all of my new mentees that I help when they come to the chamber membership. You get out of it what you put into it. If you come to the after hours events and you bring business cards and you meet people, it's all right if you see the same faces, because that is helping you build your brand as an individual within the membership. Because if someone needs to have their nails done, or they need a ride to the airport, call places to go, or if you need an accountant or an attorney, these are the faces that you should be looking to first. I strongly encourage all of you, if you are doing business in your personal life or in your business life, crack open the chamber directory. There are literally members for everything. Everything. You need a florist? We've got you covered. You need a caterer? We have you covered. Lawyers, accountants, they're all in there. Shop chamber first. And when you do so, it's more important that you let them know that you're a chamber member, and that it's because they are a chamber member that you're using their services, so they can see that value of being a chamber member. You get out of it what you put into it. So, one of the great things that they have with the chamber, and Rick had mentioned my service in the field with having all these daughters and my wife and my mom and helping these women own businesses come on. Katie Green does a great job of running a women's luncheon every month. That is a tremendous resource. If there is a woman in this room that has not attended that luncheon, you're doing yourself a great disservice. It is an amazing event. She runs it monthly. It is a wonderful networking tool for women in business to be able to participate in. I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend it to all of you, as I do to anyone that I help come into the membership. Just lastly, again, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. The chamber, if I cannot impart anything to you, is what I said earlier. You get out of your membership what you put into your membership. Please, if you are not a member, first off, you should be asking yourself, why aren't I? If you're a guest here tonight, I'll be glad to help you with that information. And it's just so wonderful to be here, and I truly, truly appreciate this award. So thank you so very much.
So One South Coast Chamber presents the Outstanding Citizen Award to an exceptional individual within the community in memory of Roger Valcourt. The Outstanding Citizen Award has long been designated as the most prestigious award within the business community. It is bestowed annually upon a citizen who has a long record of volunteerism and leadership that has produced a measurable and lasting contribution to the region. The standard is high because of an outstanding individual named Roger Valcourt. The Outstanding Citizen Award was named in memory of Roger Valcourt. Mr. Valcourt passed away very suddenly in 1979. He was a person who bestowed great character and commitment to community, along with a reputation for excellence. The Chamber has since paid tribute to the life and achievements of Roger Valcourt through the annual presentment of the Outstanding Citizen Award. I'd like to introduce Frank Baptista Jr. to join us in honoring and welcoming his father tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all here to Rachel's Lakeside. I'm Frank's son, if you haven't noticed. There's a few things I'd like to say about my father. And I said I wasn't going to cry. I said I wasn't going to cry, so I'm going to man up. But it's not every day that a son gets to welcome and introduce his father as outstanding citizen. So I'm very proud and honored. My father was born to parents Gualdino and Eugenia Baptista in a small and simple locality named Mato Grande in the island of Brava, Cape Verde. And even though they're not with us here physically, I know they're smiling in heaven and as proud as they are as him today as they were when he was born. In 1969, he emigrated to the United States by the way of Lisbon, Portugal, and settled in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. In 1978, my father arrived in Fall River and worked as the personnel director for 13 years at Shelburne Shirt Company. And what most people know him from, in 1988, he founded Rádio Voz do Imigrante, Portuguese radio serving the Portuguese-speaking community in Fall River and surrounding local communities. For over 22 years, he founded and hosted a television program named Impact, which aired on WJR TV Channel 10, which is known today as NBC 10. And for over 6 years, he was a columnist for the Herald News for a column named A Nossa Voz. Presently, my father is a member of the Board of Trustees of Bristol Community College. He's a member of the Board of Directors of Health First Family Care Center and members of various boards presently. In the past, he was the president of the Fall River Day of Portugal, Board of Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, the Cape Verdean American Federation, and many others. In 2013, he was named Bristol Community College Distinguished Citizen of the Year. And in 2011, the Portuguese American of the Year from the Prince Henry Society. I can go on and state the reasons and various awards and accolades that my father has received, but most of you already know this gentleman and why he's being honored here this evening. The Outstanding Citizen Award is presented by the One South Coast Chamber of Commerce to an exceptional individual within the community. The award has long been designated as the most prestigious award within the business community. It is bestowed annually upon a citizen who has a long record of volunteerism, leadership, and excellence that has produced a measurable and lasting contribution to the region. And I may be biased, and many of you may be biased, but I can't think of anyone who exemplifies those characteristics more deserving than my father. Many here tonight and throughout Southeastern New England call him a brother, uncle, friend, colleague, business associate, mentor, and radio host. But to our family, he's a role model. He's our idol. He's our hero. He's our dad. He's a husband, father-in-law, and most importantly, Papa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an extreme honor and privilege to welcome all of you to One South Coast Chamber's 2022 Roger Valcourt's Outstanding Citizen, my father, Frank P. Baptista.
Thank you, son. Thank you very much. Mr. Pacheco, congratulations. Well, one of the first people that I was happy to see and to greet was the mayor of Fall River. And mayor paid for my moving expenses from Fall River to Somerset. He was always concerned that I would challenge him. Once again, thank you, Frank, whom we call Frankie. And good evening to everyone. What an honor to be with you tonight at this celebration. I am overwhelmed with gratitude for this distinguished award. Thank you to the nominating committee and to the members of the leadership of the chamber, CEO, namely CEO, Mike Sullivan, co-CEO, Rick Kidder, and the amazing staff of One South Coast Chamber of Commerce. Allow me to introduce my esteemed family, starting with my wife, Yolanda, of 46 years. And you have met my son, Frank Jr. Please meet his wife, Lisette. My daughter, Heather, and husband, Nicholas. My daughter, Nancy Lynn Rodriguez, and her husband, Antonio. My daughter-in-law and my sons-in-laws are not sons-in-laws and daughter-in-law. They are children to me. And the passion of my life are the ones that I'm about to introduce to you. My first grandson, Jacoby Frank. Julian Nicholas Davidson. Jace Jonathan Davidson. Noah Frank Rodriguez. Looks just like Senator Rodriguez. Christian Frank Baptista. and Nadia Diolinda Baptista. Hi, Nadia. I'm sorry. I, as we say in Portuguese, pata na poça. What I mean is the young lady. She is the youngest, uh, and that's Sienna May. Hi, Sienna. All that I am and all that I do, however little, is for my family. This honor means so much to me as it is from an organization that I have been a member for some 40 years. Don't worry, you will be leaving from here by 9 p.m. I served on the board of this organization for 2 terms. I like to believe that I made a small contribution. Unfortunately, most with whom I served has been called by the good Lord. But the day that I started serving on the board, my friend and mentor, Thomas Murray, fortunately remains with us, is here present. Tom. I will cherish this honor for time to come, God willing. And it will be placed in a special location so that it will always be seen for which as a reminder for which it was given to me. For as long as I am able, I will continue to make a difference in this community, which has been a part of my life for 40 years. Through this chamber, I have made so many friends and acquaintances. And indeed, I have learned so much from them, and I will always remember them fondly. I would like to mention some giants in this community. Most of them, the name may not mean anything to you, but they mean a lot to me, and certainly many know them and remember them. I'm talking about giants such as Robert Cameron, Donald Bogle, William Thorpe, Maury Kuznets, Samuel Waring Jr., Carlton Viveros, Timothy Carter, Dr. Irving Fratkin, Frederick Dreyer, Nick Christ, whom I am delighted to see here tonight. Thanks for coming, Nick. Monty Ferris, and of course, Tom Murray, Paula Raposo, Fernando Garcia, James Karen, William Eccles Jr., Mac Reese, Lenny Kaplan, Richard LaFrance, Jack Sprague, Jason Brewer, Reverend Robert Lawrence, Herman Lapointe, Carl Hetzler, Joan Medeiros, and Carl Soeco, just to name a few. I never dreamed that one day I would own a radio station and that it would be housed at the Chamber of Commerce building. Going there on a daily basis reminds me of the past, which I cherish, and that it represents. The One South Coast Chamber of Commerce is a vital institution in this community, not only in the area of business, but in all aspects of the community life. It needs to be supported for the betterment of our community. Its 1,500 so members touch each and every one of us. Again, I extend my gratitude to the One South Coast Chamber of Commerce for this unforgettable recognition, and gratitude is extended to the one and all for participating in this extraordinary event with me tonight. I know that our paths shall cross again and again. My best wishes to you and yours. Thank you. Obrigado. Good night to all. I would like very much to thank the color guards for their presence here and participation in this event. Also, the folklore group of the Azorian Cultural Society. I am grateful and again and again grateful to all of you for being here.
Can you stand up here for a little bit? Can you stay here for a minute? Citations to give you. All right. So congratulations, Frank. Now I'd like to invite Senator Michael Rodericks and State Representative Carol Fiola to present Frank with their citations. I think Pat Haddad as well, and Alan Sylvia. Excuse me.
Three of them. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, all right, I'll go first.
we talked about this. Frank used to live in my district, and now he lives in Pat, so Pat.
But I've had him long.
So we were discussing,
We fight over things.
so we were discussing who would do the honor, and that's going to be you, Pat. So go ahead.
So Frank, first of all, I just want to tell everybody, I knew Frank before he was famous. Because I knew him as a family man. very fortunate that our children are a similar age. They went to school together. And now one of my grandchildren is with your son, your grandson. Oh, thank you. Can you hear me? I'm very loud. So being a former teacher, I have to admit to something. I very often judge people by their kids. And the way, the way the Baptistes brought up their kids was very impressive. Throughout the time that our kids went to school together, they were always the polite, the compassionate, the good kids who looked out for everybody. And it's now the same thing with the grandchildren. So I'm proud to do this, to give you this. And it's, we do these things, but they don't ever really give us the opportunity to express how good people are, the things that they've done. But it's our only way to say thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for your kids and your grandchildren, and we wish you the very best. Want to say a word?
Thank you, Frank. I got to work close by, Frank, when I worked at WSAR. You're a legend. There isn't enough time tonight to really do the justice, and everyone here could tell a story. You're a great man. You have a great family. You made a difference in our community. Well done.
Thank you so much.
I'm only going to be very brief. Every time I say I'm going to be brief, it lasts 20 minutes. I'm just honored to be here because this gentleman, and although we had the folklore dances and music a little earlier, he has really, he's done so much for the Portuguese and Cape Verdean community in our region. From roundtables to discussions to so many issues that over the years that we've participated in, and that has meant a great deal to those non-English speakers in our community. There are fewer these days, but many years ago there were many more. And thank you, Frank, for all of that.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you to the One South Coast Chamber for inviting me to be here tonight. And I had the pleasure of coming to many Roger Valcourt Citizens of the Year, but this one is by far the most special for a number of reasons. I've known Frank, I think since the day I announced I was first running for office over 27 years ago. And he had me on his show. Neither one of us had gray hair then. And we've become close friends, almost like family. Going to his kids' weddings and watching his beautiful grandchildren grow up. And Frank, you said you weren't going to cry when you introduced him, but I was. I was crying like a time I cried when I had the opportunity and the honor to accompany your dad to Brava, Cape Verde, back to his home where he immigrated 49 years before, and to be there with him and his family as he visited the home he left 49 years was really, really special. Frank, thank you for everything. You are one of the finest gentlemen I've ever met. We've traveled a lot together. We joke we slept with each other. You know? We've traveled a lot together. We've had a lot of great goat dinners. Sometimes we thought we were having goat and we didn't know what we were having in Portugal, but it didn't matter. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be with you and your family. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations again to One South Coast Chamber for honoring such a special name.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do that. So before you get to say thank you, Mayor Coogan, would you like to say a few words?
I just want you to know, I do not want to follow Mike Rodriguez.
Or sleep with him, right?
No, I don't know where that was going, but Mike. But I do know that I was not, like, when Frank called me this afternoon and asked me to come by tonight, he told me to bring a check for the movers. So I said, Frank, I can't afford it. He said, come by with the check. You know how he is. No, he's a great guy. He's done a ton for the entire city of Fall River, not just the Portuguese community. He's a friend to so many people, you can't count them all. And it's a privilege just to sit there tonight and listen to his son and listen to him. And I can't thank you enough for inviting me, Frank. You're a good friend.
Thank you to all 5 fine public servants. I can assure you that. And I have met many of them over the years. But I wanted to, if you allow me, just a reference to what Senator Rodriguez said. Yes, it's true that we did sleep together. I left the island where I was born many years, and I've been here. I left it, maybe it was 50 years ago, and about 4 or 5 years ago, the university, not university, it's still the university, but the Bridgewater State University put a group of Portuguese descent elected officials to visit Cape Verde. And I don't know why, but I was invited to go. Because in part, they knew that I never returned since I left. And I'll tell you, it was one of the nicest experiences I've had. And I went back with the group of senators and state representatives, and the moment that I saw the house where I was born and raised, it was a very emotional day. And Senator Rodriguez and a couple of others accompanied me to that locality. And I'll tell you, I will never forget. And you know, the musicians that played for us, I believe it's still in my cell phone. But the best thing about a senator is the fact that he is a Benfica fan, and of course, you know, Benfica is the best, and it's doing so well. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for your presence.
Congratulations.
Frank, I brought the award down to you.
Frank, watch your feet. You're wrapped in the cord.
Frank, you want down. Yeah.
Thank you, Frank, and congratulations. Before we conclude, I'd like to mention some of the upcoming events the Chamber is hosting. On Friday, March 31st, we'll be hosting our Good Morning South Coast program at the Wamsutta Club with keynote speaker Doug Howgate from the Max Taxpayers Foundation. Tickets are available at onesouthcoast.com. The following week, on April 5th, Mayor Coogan will be delivering his State of Business luncheon at McGovern's. Tickets are available at onesouthcoast.com. I think he just found out about that. On Monday, April 24th, at LeBaron Hills Country Club, we'll be hosting our annual Chamber Invitational. Individual spots and foursomes are available at onesouthcoast.com. And lastly, on Wednesday, May 3rd at New Bedford High School, Mayor Mitchell will be delivering his State of the City address. Tickets may be purchased at onesouthcoast.com. Once again, please join us in thanking our sponsors, South Coast Health, St. Anne's Credit Union, Bristol County Savings Bank, Bay Coast Bank, Webster Bank, and First Citizens Federal Credit Union. Thank you also to La France Hospitality and Sergio Dabdub of Bad Monkey Picks. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful night.